So have you ever been in your own way? Ever been in a situation where you have some hang up, some detail of something that you just can't get past? And it's causing you all sorts of grief. I've seen it a lot in two different areas. Some of you know I'm very handy with technology, computers. I have done maintenance for a whole lot of people on their computers. Everything from the real basic stuff of wiping the temporary files, defragmenting the disks, to full system restores out of the backup partition. And I am speaking in a stereotype that I've seen way too many times. So if this isn't you, just ignore it. But I have noticed that the older generations struggle with technology more than the younger. And the thing is with that is I have met people who are in the generations older than I am, who understand the concept entirely. I had someone tell me an analogy for disk defragmentation that is the best description I've ever heard of it, but it's technologies, therefore they don't get it. It's the hang-up. I didn't grow up with it. I can't understand it. No, you can understand. I see it with teens and kids, and I was this way myself. Teens, kids, your parents are smarter than you think. I can't tell you the number of times my dad would tell me something. Name it. My mom would tell me something. I have really good relationships with my parents. And I understand that they actually know what they're talking about most of the time. But they would tell me something. And then I would hear it from a mentor, a small group leader in the youth group, a teacher, a month and a half later. Oh man, that's smart. I get that. That's perfect. That's it. And then about 20 minutes later, oh, wait a minute. My dad told me that a month and a half ago. What? And I'm sure parents, all of you have probably had that experience. You're just staring at your child as they tell you all this amazing thing they just found out, and you're going, I've been telling you that for like 3 months. And I am sure that my son is going to pull that on me. And these are little things. These are little things that just make your life a little easier. Technology, for all of its issues, has made life easier in the developed world and in the developing world. I can take my phone right now and send Pastor Ryan a text, a question, and he can have an answer to me almost instantaneously, assuming he has service. I can have a conversation with someone overseas in a lot quicker manner. I work in hydraulics. There is a major vendor that I deal with. Their main office is in Italy. If you try and communicate with Italy over the phone, I call and leave a message. I wait 2 days for them to get the message and call me back. And then I have to wait to get the message. Email speeds that up a little bit, not by much, not when you're talking to the other end of the world. But technology can make life easier. If I took my parents' advice when they gave it to me, rather than when someone else gave it to me, my life would be a little easier. I would have figured out this massive problem 6 weeks earlier. They weren't massive problems. But when you're a teenager, there are certain things that just seem like it's the end of the world. And it's not. You only figure that out after you grow up. But what happens when we do this with God? What happens when we get in our own way with God? Because as much as technology can make our lives better, as much as our parents and our mentors and everyone can make our lives better or easier, God's the one that's got the most skin in the game, so to say. He's the one who wants the absolute best for us. We don't always get that. One of my classes probably talked about Job, and the idea at the end of the book that God basically is bigger than us, and he knows so much more than us. So when they look back here, but there may be something else going on that we can't see. Job had no idea. He didn't do anything wrong. But a bunch happens to him. So we get in our own ways with God. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned who one of my favorite Old Testament people are. The prophet Elijah. And as I've been taking my classes, and he keeps coming up, he gets pointed out more and more that the guy messed up a lot. But he is considered one of the most powerful prophets of Israel, so much so that it was in his power that John the Baptist, the herald of the Messiah, would come. It was Elijah and Moses who appeared on the Mount of Transfiguration with Jesus. And there's a big theory that in Revelation, he's one of the two witnesses that bring God's word back here. Bring God's word. He is one of the great prophets, but he messed up. And there's a story of his life that shows a big time of when he just got in his own way. We're going to be in 1 Kings 19, verses 9 through 18. We're going to give a little background. Part of this, you really need to know his story in order to get just how dumb he really is at this point. That's a lot tinier than I thought. So, turn in your devices and I'll kind of get you up to speed. With Elijah, we do not have his calling story. A lot of the prophets, we have the stories of God calling them out to be prophets. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Samuel, we have these stories of when God called them. We don't have that with Elijah. He literally just shows up out of nowhere, starting in chapter 17 of 1 Kings. He shows up, looks at the king of Israel, and says, "Hey, it's not going to rain until I say otherwise. I serve God. God's told me I'm declaring a massive drought on all of Israel." Then he runs away. Then he flees. Because the king is Ahab, and his wife is Jezebel. There's a reason the old sayings exist about Jezebel. She was not a good person, but neither was King Ahab. They kind of were just really bad. So he takes off after the drought. He hides out in a valley with a stream nearby. God commands nature to take care of him. Then the stream dries up and he needs to leave. He then goes to another town, finds a widow and her only son, and tells them to make him just a little bit of bread to eat. They've only got enough flour and oil left that the widow literally says, "I am making the last meal for my son and I. We're going to eat this and then we're going to die." That's how bad it's got. So, I don't know, just do this and see what God does. The flour and the oil never run out. There's never so much that they have an abundance. But she makes bread for Elijah, and miraculously there's oil and flour. She can make bread for her and her son, and it never stops. Then her son dies, and Elijah raises him from the dead. And then the big story on Mount Carmel happens. Elijah challenges the king and tells him, "Bring all 450 prophets of Baal and 400 prophets of Ashtoreth to Mount Carmel. They all dine at the queen's table. Bring them, and we're going to see whose God is real." They build an altar. They put a sacrifice on it, and they start trying to call Baal down. They're yelling, they're praying, there's bloodletting. It just gets bad. To the point that Elijah starts mocking them. Maybe he's asleep. Maybe he's far away. Yell louder. Come on, you gotta wake him up. It's one of the reasons why I like Elijah. He's very real to me. So they can't do it. They are at it all day, from morning to the evening sacrifice. Then Elijah built his altar to God, puts the wood on it, puts the bowl on it, tells people, see those jars? We'll fill them up with water. Dump them on the altar. There's 4 jars. They're big enough that it's basically they dig a trench and it fills up with water. Elijah prays to God. And God dumps fire down on the altar to the point the bowl's consumed, the wood's consumed, the rocks are consumed, the soil burns, the water evaporates. I don't know about you, but it has to be really, really, really hot for rocks to burn away. Usually when that happens, it's called magma or lava. So, and then there's this third group there. There's all these people who are watching, and then Elijah turns them on the prophet of Baal. He takes off, tells King Ahab, oh, by the way, the rains are coming. And he leaves. Queen Jezebel finds out. She sends a word to Elijah that says, you're dead. By this time tomorrow, I'm going to have you killed. She's mad. He flees. He leaves his servant in the town, goes out into the wilderness to die. He literally gets into the wilderness, looks up at God and says, I have failed. I give up. Take my life. This is the first point where he misses something. He's starting to get so caught up in what's going on that he misses something. God's angel appears, wakes him up, he lays down. And there's bread and food. Eat and get your strength back. Then Elijah lays back down again. The angel does it again. He says, get up, you have a journey ahead of you and you don't have the strength to do it. So, he follows the angel for 40 days to the mountain at Horeb, the mountain of God. The same mountain that God appeared to Moses on. He gets there and he goes up to a cave. And he hides there. And this is where we're going to pick up into the scriptures. So know that, and just to give you an idea, all of this happened in less than 3 years. Because the challenge happened during the third year of the drought. So all of this activity, all of this prophetic work that Elijah has done has happened in 3 years. That's a lot of stuff to do in only 3 years. So, starting in partway through verse 9, because the start just said, everybody went to a cave and spent the night. So, and the word of the Lord came to him. What are you doing here, Elijah? He replied, I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, tore down your altars, and put your prophets to death with the sword. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too. A little bit of a pity party there. The Lord said, go out and stand at the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountain apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came up a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. Then a voice said to him, what are you doing here, Elijah? He replied, I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, tore down your altars, and put your prophets to death with the sword. I'm the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too. He's repeating himself. The Lord said to him, go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus. He then gives, in the dots there, the ellipses, he then tells him to go crown one person a king, crown a person a king, and then anoint Elisha to be his successor. Then he goes on to tell Elijah, the Lord does, Jehu will put to death any who escape the sword of Hazael, and Elisha will put to death any who escape the sword of Jehu. Yet I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, whose mouths have not kissed him. So Elijah missed something big. Period. He missed something major from God. Why? Because he was stuck on something. He couldn't get past himself to see God. idea that Israel sucks. They've rejected God. They refused to listen. And now they're coming after him, and he is the only one left. In Elijah's mind, he is now a failure. His prophet, he as a prophet, has not turned the people back to God. Now, everyone in all of Israel is out to kill him. He's so hung up on this that he doesn't listen to God. Because God told him, go stand in the mountain of the king. God's about to walk by. He misses all of these amazing acts and displays of God's power. A wind so powerful that it damages the mountain. It's got to be pretty powerful because rocks don't move very well. Have you ever tried to hit one with a compressor and make it roll? It doesn't work unless it's really, really tiny. Then there's an earthquake after the wind, then a fire. God is showing Elijah his power. Just a small fragment of it. And the ironic thing is, these displays of power, along with what Elijah had been doing, were the powers that were ascribed to Baal. Just like when the plagues happened in Egypt. All of these things that are going on were attributed to Egyptian gods, in this case, Baal. And God's showing, never mind. It wasn't until God's name gets whispered that Elijah goes, throws his cloak over his face. There's been a bit of fire. I'm sure there's a little bit of smoke. He goes outside. He missed it. He missed seeing God because he couldn't get out of his own way. When you encounter God, you are changed. You cannot enter the presence of God and not come away somewhat different. Whether small or large, it cannot happen. Elijah walks out of the cave and gives the same answers for why he's there, which doesn't actually answer the question. One thing that drives me nuts at work, I'll ask a question of somebody, key piece of information I need, and they tell me something that's over here. It's like, great, that didn't answer my question. I need to know this to make sure I get you the right thing. He's not answering God's question. So God literally has to, that little gently rebukes him. He tells him, leave the mountain. Go to the desert of Damascus. Anoint 2 people king, one over Aram, one over Israel, and anoint your successor. And then gives him the reassurances. All of these people that are chasing after you, all these people who bowed down to Baal and done these things, the first king is going to put him to the sword. Anyone who escapes that first king, the second king is going to come up and clean it up. And if for some reason they both miss it, your successor, my next prophet, will take care of it. They're going to get to you. I'm going to take care of them. And you're not the only one. I got 7,000 people who have not bowed the knee to Baal or kissed him. So, I'm assuming an altar or a priest or something. But they have not done what you think they've done. Both his complaints. All of Israel's turned against him. They're horrible. They're not doing anything. God's going to take care of that. And the fact that he's by himself, that's wrong. Another instance of, you don't know everything, let me. He also missed, way back when he was in the valley attempting to die. God took care of it. Took care of some physical needs for him. Because God takes care of those whom he calls. If God has called you to do something, he will take care of you. You may not like how he takes care of you. Again, back to the concept. He knows more than we do. It may be that we need to go through that fire to come out closer to what he needs us to be, or wants us to be. This is another one of this story. I've always had a little bit of issue with it because it hadn't made a lot of sense to me. Here's Elijah, and he's on a mountain, on the mountain of God. This is the same mountain that Moses got the commandments from, the laws from, at least according to all of the commentaries. Commentaries I read and everything I looked at in this passage. And Elijah misses it because he's too caught up. He can't see what God is doing. Obviously, he gets past it. He goes out and does what God tells him to do. Oddly enough, he's only in the Bible for like 4 more chapters. The guy that is not in the Bible very long. He shows up, he does all this stuff, kind of disappears a little bit, and then God takes him from the earth. He doesn't die like we think. A chariot comes down, picks him up, and scoops him off in the head. He is that in tune with God. And he is the second person in the Bible who is taken from earth in the flesh. There's no mention of actual death. The first one, all we know is Enoch, and the only thing we have about him is the fact that God took him. Now, how does that apply to us? How does it apply to us, the idea that we can be in our own way with God? The verses I read at the start of the service, right after the first song. The Great Commission. That's what it's called in the Bible, or at least in the NIV. The Great Commission. It is not just for pastors. It is not just the job of full-time called vocational ministers to make disciples, baptize, teach, all that stuff. We as Church Nazarene have some rules because there are certain sacraments that we want to make sure that people understand. Baptism and communion being those 2 things. But the idea that you need to make disciples, that's everybody. I've taken 2 classes this semester for the pastoral staff. One is called Tracing the Story of God Through the Bible. It's Basic Beliefs Catechism 101. I find it funny that it is in the last section of study. The other one is called Declaring the Gospel of God. It's an evangelism class. We have really big, fancy names for really simple concepts. And we only have 12 weeks per class. With the exception of 2, every class is 12 weeks. And we spent the first 3 weeks dealing with the concept of Peter in evangelism. These people are scared of it. So much so that we spent a quarter of the class talking about it. We didn't talk, haven't even started it on anything the church does or pastor's role in any of this, just fear. So, is that your hang up with listening to God? Is that where you're in your own way? Is it fear? Is it fear of, I can't do that. That's not my gifting. Because evangelism is listed as a gift. It's in the same concept as faith as a gift. Everyone can do it. Some people are gifted to the point where they are the examples for us. You can't come to Jesus without faith. We all can have faith. But as a gift, there are people whose faith is so infectious and large and everything they contribute to God as the example and hope. It's the example for us and encouragement for us. Same deal with evangelism. Everyone can share the story of Jesus. There are some people who are so gifted at it that they're the ones who can look at it and go, okay, that works. That didn't work. Because you don't think you can do it. If you are saved, you can lead someone to Christ. You went through it, you can lead someone else through it. You can make disciples. Is it you're afraid you're going to lose someone as a friend if you tell them about Jesus? Tell them about some small portion of your life. Well, better not be a small portion of your life. That would be really, really bad if God was this teeny point of your life. I'm going to point this out. If you have a friend who, if you tell them about Jesus and this portion of your life that should be infectious to all parts of your life, and they decide that you aren't worth the same level of friendship that you thought you had, there's a term for that. That's called toxic behavior. You probably don't want to around. they're going to infect and drag you down. There are people out there that, okay, cool, you're a Christian. You're not making a difference to them. Or, are you afraid of being labeled a hypocrite when you tell someone? Because you don't think you measure up? Elijah's telling God, I'm a failure at what you told me to do. God's like, you're doing what I commanded you to do. You're not a failure. Are you just scared to invite someone? Pastor Ryan, a little ways back, talked about just inviting someone to church when he was back to church Sunday. There's an entire section in my class about it. Because, I hate to break it to you, most people aren't going to come to church on their own. They are going to get up on a Sunday morning and show up to a building, to a place where they don't know if they know anyone, or don't know if they're welcome. It doesn't happen. I mean, it used to a lesser extent, but you're not going to get millennials doing that. Sorry, my generation won't put up with that. Yes, I'm a millennial. I was born right in the middle of it. But if you invite them, they'll show up. Why? Because they already know there's someone there who wants them there. Are you afraid that you don't know enough? I mean, that would be a legitimate concern in your faith. You don't know enough to make a disciple. You don't know enough to tell someone about Jesus. Well, you do know enough. Most people, the book answers don't do a lot for them. Because until Jesus becomes authoritative in their life, this is another book. This is another book that was banned numerous different times. Period. But then you can tell them about what Jesus has done in your life. The changes he made in you. You can't argue with that. There could be other things. I mean, you could be in here going, I don't even know Jesus. I'm new to it. I'm not even saved. And you're in your way because you haven't made that step yet. Well, that's the first step you need to make. Everyone's got something they're scared of, afraid of. Just get out of your own way. Let Jesus do what he wants to do. It's amazing. Discipleship partners. Pastor Ryan's mentioned it up here numerous times about being a disciple maker and being discipled yourself. Those relationships are foundational to people. I meet with Pastor Ryan and Pastor Larry every single Wednesday morning to be discipled and be discipled, to learn and teach from each other, all three of us. And it's amazing what happens when that happens. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, which means I had to get up at 5. Some of you are going, so one of the advantages I have with working with teens is I'm a night owl. I don't like mornings very much. I'll stay up till 12, 1, 2, whatever. Up at 5 a.m., that's rough. There's been posts on Facebook about people doing this, about stepping out in faith and becoming a disciple maker and being discipled. And the stories are amazing because they are doing what God has asked them to do. God asking you to help with serving, to go do some aspect of serving lunch to somebody. You could be scared, that's fine. Don't let it stop you. You could think you're too old. No, you're never too old to go sit with somebody and talk with them. You know, that's a hang-up I've heard from some people is I'm just too old to be doing this. You're too old when you go to heaven. Because at that point, it would be really hard to sit down with someone on earth and talk to them. You're too young now. Some aspects, yeah, there's rules and things that we have to pay attention to because of the environment. But you are never too young or too old to share the gospel and invite someone to church to be the example. So, this week, you'll notice on your little handout, meningitis. You've got a big old section for the question. What are you in your own way with? You know what it is. Feel free to write it down. You don't need to turn it in. This is for you to keep, fold it up, stick it in your Bible, and go home and pray about it. Pray about what you know you're hung up on with God. And ask Him to help you with it. He wants you on the next step. He wants you beyond that. Because He wants to bless you. He wants to do things in you and through you that will work. I mean, we're called to be a community of faith. We're called to be a body of believers. That we have such an impact in the world around us, in Pasco, that Spokane knows about it. It's not just God will work. Pray about it. Get past it. If you have no idea what your hang-up is, go home and pray about it. Go home, ask God, what is in my way? What am I doing that is in my own way, that is stopping me from doing what you want? And when He tells you, He'll tell you, if you seek Him, you will find Him. It's guaranteed in the Bible. Seek me and you will find me. Write it down. Pray about it. Find out how God wants you to get past it. I have them too. I'm in a journey to become a vocational pastor. If I don't run into a hang-up every now and again and something that scares the living daylights out of me about this, then I probably had better stop because I got it wrong. I'm putting my entire future in His hands, not just my eternity. It's terrifying, but I know my God. So, as we prepare to end, I'm going to ask the worship team to come back up. They are going to lead us through a chorus one more time to celebrate what God has done for us and in us. Our altars are always open at this time. If you need to come and pray about this, or just pray in general, please do. If you are seeking Jesus for the first time, come up and pray. I will pray with you. I'll hold everyone else here until we get done praying. But let's worship God through song.